don't know the guy's name. I don't know why his name. I don't know why the guy's name is. I don't know what it is. But that man's name is out of my head. If you can say what his name was, guys, in the chat, that'd be very helpful. But I forgot his name. I can't remember his name. But yeah, she had two guys that she was dealing with, and I really liked the guy that I can't remember his name with, because he seemed like he's like a basketball coach. He was chill, was cool, and I thought it was really cool. Like I like their vibe, right? Tabari's a bit of a fun guy. He wants to Cantrell, thank you. Tabari seems like a cool guy. He likes energy, he likes the vibe, he likes to have a good time. So, I'm voting for. I'm really rooting more for the Tabari, no, for the Cantrell situation. But again, we'll have to wait and see. And then finally, we had Charisse, and Charisse seemed to now finally have two people. She had Mizell, and she also had Danzel as well, which is Danzel just messed up. I mean, he was doing so well. He let her know, and I personally don't think he found her attractive. I'm sorry, she didn't find him attractive, but he had the qualifications that she liked. Okay, until he started drinking and he showed his ass of who he truly is, and he was doing way too much, way too soon, and it was coming cringy at points. And then Mizell came in there smooth, like liquor, like rum down your throat, like a Bailey's drink. You know what I mean? He just came in there real smooth. You know what I'm saying? Like he came in like a nighttime drive, and you got the jazz playing in the background. Like he was so smooth with it. It was dangerous. So shout out to Mizell for the smoothness that he brought to the table. That brother is smooth. Okay, even at his age, you can tell he's aged like a fine wine. But we're gonna get into some conversation again with the panelists. They're almost here, in the background with me to get ready to discuss this latest episode. But there's a lot to get through. You know what I mean? There's a lot to get through. But if you're here and you're new to the channel, make sure you like it, you share, you subscribe, you click on that bell button for notification of the uploads. We appreciate you. And for those of you who are returnees, you already know what it is, baby. You got the minerals. Let's get into some conversation. I'll bring up my panelists. I'm sure Seaway will join us in time. You already know the Deacon is coming right up here to give you guys a word, as he always done. Give him a little round of applause. I know you can, but you can give him a little shout out in the chat. Master Deacon Sean, how you doing, sir?
Doing fantastic, and I'm on time today. How about that?
Look at that, Deacon on time for church. You know what I'm saying? He said, "I will not be late. The good Lord will change him, man." Okay, all right. Let that move you, sisters. Let that move you, brothers. Okay. Our next congregational member, we have our worship leader, Jay, the empath of the team. Whenever things change, she senses it, she knows it, she feels it, and she's able to articulate what is happening in amongst us. And I'm sure she's going to give us another great worship session today about some of the things that have been going on in this episode. Yeah. How you doing, Jay? Worship leader.
Romance is growing stronger amongst you two. I love it. Basking in the ambiance.
Jay, cut the crap. Y'all don't know, but Jay's been cutting up behind the scenes. We just jumped off our little IG chat, and she has been cutting up big time. So we love you.
We do indeed. Worship leader indeed. We love. So obviously, I know Seaway will come and I'll give her announcement as well. But listen, this episode was interesting. I think there was some great things that were happening. And some funny things that happened as well. So just get your overall thoughts. I want to get your overall thoughts on this episode. What did you feel? Oh, before I do, actually, no, we got our third congregational member. She has arrived. Yes, she has arrived. Our first lady, guys. Our first lady. She's arrived here, She always has a different new hairstyle. Maybe she got a new hat, She always makes sure she dressed in the nines. That's a real first lady right there. She said, ain't no one gonna embarrass her. She gonna come here looking 100, looking to the nines, looking good, you know what I'm saying? And so we appreciate our first lady because she gonna tell you what it is. Okay, she ain't never lied, okay? And her discernment. Then let's start on her discernment, okay? Because she sits on the front, she can see everything. You know what I'm saying to you? So don't play with our first lady. Give her a round of applause and some warm welcome in the chat to Seaway.
Did everybody get an intro?
We did, yeah.
Oh, okay.
The first lady already advocating for the team. We appreciate
See, that's what I was gonna say. That's why she first lady. She gonna make sure that
she first lady.
I'm right.
She's gonna make sure everybody eat.
I didn't want to be special.
That's the first lady again. She said she's humble. You know what I mean? We appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? It's about the team.
What I
But welcome, Seaway.
humble with the anger problem.
That's the first lady straight too. Don't worry about it.
Humble with
But-
anger management.
You better listen to the word.
You and Kojo got that. We gotta wince a little before you give a compliment because we don't know which way it's gonna go. But you did good, Coach. You did real good with all the compliments.
Oh yeah.
No backhands.
I'm the worst. I'm gonna give you some backhand compliments.
Oh my God. You be like,
Hey, I'm listening to the first lady. She be teaching me some stuff. Okay, so first lady be giving me the skills. Okay. She's original backhanded complimenter. Okay, so I'm learning. But listen,
Quick block. Trigger
with a
finger
quick, and you can get black too.
allegedly.
My bad, guys. Listen, we're talking about Ready to Love, make a move, and we're just asking everybody their initial thoughts of the actual episode. We'd love to hear you guys and what you thought of this episode before we get into any nitty gritty. So I'm gonna go to Deacon. Deacon, if I can have you first, just give us your rendition of what you thought this episode was given.
Yeah, I think this episode was the breaking point because we just kind of saw the breaking point in some of the relationships, and I liked some aspects of it. I think Vern is continuing to get through her options and make some solid choices. I think Charisse is at the breaking point of realizing that she ain't found nobody and she ain't gonna find nobody. And Zadia is at the breaking point of realizing that you can't get everything. You're going to have to make some sacrifices. And Ashley, she just broken.
Thank you, Deacon. Worship leader, talk to me. Conduct the spiritual realm for us.
Well, I'm gonna just keep it short and cute. This episode showed us who's gonna show up and who's gonna show out. And we had some people showing out. We had some people showing up, and possibly not even being around anymore. So we don't know. We don't know. We'll find out.
Appreciate that. It was straight from the heavens. First lady, talk to us. I know you just saw something. I know you saw science, First lady. Mm-hmm.
This was a tale of two stories, I think, on this episode. You got Zadia, who got her man and ready to run off and hear the theme song, whatever the theme song is for this show. And then you got kind of Ashley and Vern kind of starting over. And Charisse, I'm just fast forwarding through her parts. So, I mean, I think it's an interesting kind of place that we found ourselves. That's what I think.
Appreciate it. All right, cool. Let's start then. First person, let's talk about Vern. She finally dropped Jabari, got with Tabari, and then had Blue Control. So listen, talk to me. What's your thoughts on this situation here? Vern has got two guys again, once more vying for her attention. She's dropped Jabari finally. Tabari wants to have fun, and then it looks like Control looks like he looks to be serious, but he's a little bit nervous. So what was your guys' thoughts on Vern and her situation? Let me go to First Lady. Yeah, thank you, First Lady. Mm-hmm.
I was ahead of you. I'm proud of her.
Exactly.
I'm proud of Vern. I know it was really hard for her to leave her comfort zone, and she got quiet. It was hard for her to leave her comfort zone, and I think it's always hard when you know that you have a man that's interested in you. When nowadays it's so hard to get these 2023 men to even show some interest. They want to be courted nowadays. So it's really, I know that's hard for her because she knew the man that was actually kind of really dedicated to her, which is not a good fit. And so I was proud of her for not just going with the man that likes her, because I know sometimes that's easy to do, and I'm glad that she kind of went away from that. Tabari and her, they have good energy. I still don't trust them. I'm sorry. I still don't really trust them, but I really, really like their vibe. I thought he was very confident in the space, almost a little too confident. I don't know. It was giving me a little orange flags, but I mean, I really liked how comfortable he was around her energy. I feel like he allowed her to feel more feminine and soft because he has just a very confident energy, and I like his vibe. The new guy, I love them on the one-on-one. It just maybe the TV was too much for him. I don't want to read too much into it. I think when you have a regular guy that's just like a good guy, maybe the TV and the lights and the camera and the dynamic maybe too much for the average person that's not looking for attention. So I'm not going to read too much into him being nervous, because I think sometimes when people are too comfortable on TV, like Tabari is, you got to kind of figure out like what's going on. The new guy just seemed like he just was overwhelmed by the whole process. So I'm going to try to give him some grace because their one-on-one was fine. So he was sweating though. He was sweating. Yeah, I felt bad for him. I actually wanted to cut the camera off. I was like, I gotta fast forward through this. Y'all are making me nervous. Like it was just, I don't know. But I think it may have been the TV and the lights and it was too much. I understand his energy. So
Thank you very much. Worship leader, talk to me, Jay.
I'm gonna pick it back off of what Seaway was saying on that. I'm gonna start off with Kenneth. I did peep him noticing where all the cameras were, so I was like, okay, it's very uncomfortable for him to sit here and just be in the moment and have this conversation. The TV thing and all this is very, very new to him, and you can see it on him. So what I do appreciate about Kenneth though is that he is here seemingly very genuine, not here to be on camera, not here to be on TV, but actually looking to see if he can find him a woman, a date, a partner, lifelong, whatever they got situation he want. He actually seems like he's actually looking for that. And so I appreciate that about him. Do I want him to show up more? On the group, like the birthday dinner date, maybe just a little bit, but then I started sitting there thinking about it. I was like, the men are generally there for just the woman that they came with. They don't know anybody else. So it's kind of like in a space where you want this man to be social and meeting other people, where he's not really there for other people and he don't know what the situation is. He already nervous on camera, this and that. So it made it kind of hard for him to leave Vern's side for a lot of the time that they were together. However, I did kind of want him to leave Vern's side a little bit, like show that bit of confidence in yourself that you feel okay enough to leave her and let somebody else talk to, kind of like with what's her other date's name again? What's the other one? I forgot his name. Tabari.
Yeah,
like what Tabari was doing, where Tabari left her for a long time to sit and talk to Kenneth, and even just came back, brought her plates of food, asked her, what you want to drink, this, that, and the third, made his presence known that, hey, I am still here. I'm waiting for my time respectfully, but I am here. And so when Tabari did have his time, it was like, okay, Kenneth, kind of move around a little bit. Don't come right back. Just let her do what she got to do in this moment. But I'm not mad at him. Tabari, I see the difference in the conversations when she's sitting there talking to Kenneth and they're having these heart-to-hearts and they're getting philosophical and kind of deep and everything. And then when Tabari comes around, everything is kind of a joke. But I'm like, why are you pushing him to have deeper conversations though? Because sometimes we just joke on the surface when we have like this group setting or whatever. And then when we're alone, we can have deep conversations. So I'm like, Vern, are you actually pushing for the deep conversations, and he's just joking all the time? Or are you just going with the jokes that he leads with? And that's how you're making this conclusion that he just jokes and plays too much. Like, so I'm trying to find that balance. It's hard to see it when he's up next to Kenneth, because Kenneth is about learning you. He's very attentive. And I did like Kenneth's questions when he asked, how are you? Let me know more about you. Tell me more what you got going on. I like that about him. You said Vern has 2 candidates. She actually has 3, but we'll get into that later. She actually have a bit more than she expected for it, but it is what it is. And to piggyback off the last thing what Seaway was talking about with Vern, to moving out of her comfort zone. And I noticed that we tend to do this a lot of times when we're not in a space of multiple dating. is that we stick to the first thing that comes to us. And then we have trouble moving around, even if we know that person may not be the best thing for us. We get in that comfort zone and complacency of where we saying that, you know what, I'm content with where I'm at. I don't want to move around. He makes me happy just enough. But is he really your all in all? Do you see yourself being with this person long term? Do you see this person being married to you and all this? And if you say no, then that's possibly not your person. You should just go ahead and move around and open yourself up to more dates. So it's good that Vern actually made that decision for herself and not held on to something that she knows deep down inside is not going to be the long term that she actually wants. And just open herself up to be free to get what she wants and let that man be free too. Sometimes we hold on to people we don't want them to be free. So let them be free too. Don't be scared.
Jay, you done took after Kojo and calling that man Kenneth. And isn't his name Tabari?
No, Kenneth was the other date. Kentrell, I'm sorry, Kentrell's the other date.
Oh, I thought you meant because one of them looks like Kenneth.
Tabari is the hyper.
That's Control.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Kentrell is the other date. I'm sorry. Yeah.
Control looks like Kenneth, so.
Control. There you go.
No, because I was reading my notes and then it was Ashley and Kenny and I actually wrote the
wrong
name.
What, yeah.
So that's what it's my fault. I read the wrong name on my notes, so that's my fault. It's Kentrell. Sorry, Kentrell.
Look, you better than me because I wouldn't
that man.
Sorry to that man.
What to call him.
Sorry.
Sorry to that man. Mm-hmm.
Charge it to my heart. To my mind, not my heart. Okay.
Listen.
He
ain't gonna be around long. He's gonna be going. So don't matter. So I have just a slightly different perspective. I think a couple of things. So, and don't get upset with me. And but I just feel like Vern just wants everything, and I'm not sure what we're getting. You know what I mean? Because you gotta be able to, realize at a certain point, you gotta weigh your options. And I understand as much as Jabari was inflexible, the kind of man that she wants, I don't think you're going to get all of that without some push and pull, right? Jabari wanted, right, a pretty traditional person. Well, Vernisha wants the benefits of what a traditional man gives, right? Being able to, take some of the weight off of her shoulders so that she can just kind of relax and be in her soft state, right? And just kind of kick back and not work so hard because she's been working so hard. But then you want the ability to be home late at night and be out and move around the way you want to move around. That typically traditional men or men of means, they don't like their women just moving around that way. And I'm not saying, to be controlled or she should submit to being controlled, but you're not going to have a magic recipe, right? At some point, you're going to have to just give and take. It's going to be some give and take because you sit around thinking you're going to find what Tasha got next door. Tasha might just have a unicorn because ain't that many unicorns running around there. And most men, of course, it's not all, but you want to spend your time looking for the 10%, right? Or you want to kind of look and say, maybe I need to adjust my expectations a little bit. And then I need to look at where I stand in the grander scheme of things, right? Hey, might not be Jabari. It's her will to move on. But at a certain point, you gotta kind of start weighing your options. She's kicking the other guy out the court, right? Because he's sweating too much. He's too nervous. A lot of times men that are not looking for attention, looking to be in front of the cameras, looking for something other than, there's gonna be instances where we might be a little nervous in settings that are outside of our normal comfort zone. So And likely that man that's a little nervous is probably going to be a man that's just for you. He going to be singularly focused on you, and you ain't got to worry about him being outside, because he ain't going to be charismatically trying to get at everybody else. But, hey, I just think sometimes, and she's been so super focused on, I want to make sure I have all my options. I don't want to make the same mistakes that I made before. It's okay, Vern. We get it. You don't have to overcorrect because, Mr. New Orleans. Well, hey, you back in New Orleans. Where's old boy from? So you might have told the show, hey, listen, where we going? Yeah, I'm gonna sit this one out because she about to run up against another Joelle. And yeah, that's my thoughts. But I do like that Vern is trying to do something different, but I think the overcorrection to me is where I see the issue.
I think, Sean, you have somewhat of a point, but I feel like if she's going to, hi Glenn, if she's going to overcorrect, she needs to leave the man that's very rigid with no money. Like if she can't get everything, that's definitely not where she needs to put her stake in the ground. A man that is rigid with no money can be a dangerous man, and definitely is not where she needs to put her stake in the ground. Now, where I think you have a point is I think the man that is nervous, that's sweating a little bit, that is successful, but may not be that kind of Joelle personality, or, that Tabari personality, may be where she finds the middle ground. Because to me, the Tabari type may be a little bit too much for a person with Vern's type of personality. I don't think she really wants a man that does too much at the end of the day. And I think she's going to find that Tabari does a little bit too much. And I do think the man that is sweating and a little nervous is probably right where she needs to be, because he's understanding the seriousness of it, and that may be making him nervous. But he also is successful and has his own career and has his own goals. And I think if he has that to focus on, he won't be tripping that she's out also trying to do well for herself. So I do agree that she needs to find a middle ground, but unfortunately, Jabari was not where she needed to stay. And that's why I am proud of her for that. So.
Glenn, we're talking about Vern and her situation with Jabari, and not Kenneth, Cantrell. So, want to get your thoughts.
Got some mixed feelings on this one, because I think Vern should have stayed with Jabari, but I know they were kind of unequally yoked, the 9 to 5 being too rigid situation. Tabari just seemed like he's there for camera time, right? For me, Tabari's like he's doing a little too much. The laughter, the joking around, I don't see anything serious about him. I just see like he's too playful. I see like it's too much going on, that he's all over the place, that he's just there to enhance himself and not really for love. I think Vern I think she focused too much on the fact that she couldn't get Jabari into her lifestyle. But if you start dating somebody that's willing to compromise, because you guys haven't even gotten that far yet, right? Can you compromise on the fact that he may allow you to, I don't want to use the word allow because people get mad about that you guys can compromise on this 9 to 5 situation, that you guys can compromise on your lifestyle outside of your salon, your lifestyle outside of him going to bed at 10 o'clock. There can be somebody compromise, because everybody's schedules are never going to mix up and be the same. Nobody's going to have there's no partners that really have the same exact schedule that goes on. I think Cantrell was just a bad date altogether. It wasn't her mix, right? I don't think he was, I thought he was too young personally for Vern. I thought there were some things, there was a little bit of immaturity there, nervousness that was there for him, that him and Vern didn't really match. They agreed on some things, but I just didn't think that was a good fit. But Jabari and her, I thought could have worked out. I think she's so set on the fact that she doesn't want to stay with the same guy that she was missing what she had in front of her. I think there was stability in her life with Jabari. I think Jabari was the stable guy, the safe person. I think she's going to miss out. I mean, it's just like anything else. Everybody else revisiting dates. She might revisit Jabari before this whole season is over. We never know. But I think Jabari was more safe for her than Tabari. I think Tabari won't stick around that much at all, because he's a jokester to me. Nothing serious.
Worship leader, Deacon, you have anything to say to that?
Yeah, I would just say, not to go against anything or whatever, but this is what we women do sometimes, where we pick our form of safety. You say the safety is him being at home or whatnot, but financially we are looking for that more. So Tabari over Jabari would be a better fit for where she's at. It's the lifestyle thing for sure. Like your lifestyle aligns with my lifestyle. All the rest can come into it later. Some of us think like this, and that might be her downfall of why she's struggling or whatnot. I'm not sure because I haven't seen her full dating record, but that's possibly something that she might have to work on. But most of the chances is if I'm sitting here moving independently and have all these business, sometimes it's hard to date a person that doesn't understand that, especially when he's the man, because he's going to want to control and dictate a lot of that movement. And the fact that Jabari was already at a space of being so rigid to it's like, I'm used to a woman at this time doing this for me, this. You already got a list of things that your expectations of a woman for me to be. I'm not your woman. That's not even a compromise right now. You're not just coming in and saying, oh, I hear your lifestyle. Would you be willing to be able to do these things like this? No, he's like, I expect these things. So therefore, me looking at it, we're not going to be a mix already. Somebody out in this world is moving like me. We might not be the best fit, but for right now, we're the better fit. And so I'm going to probably walk over here with this better fit, because at least I don't have to do an immediate turnaround on the things. I got my slow process enough to work into that space that I want to be. Because you can't just tell me I'm going to be out running the streets doing my own movement. Now I got to be a housewife, because I'm not used to that. I have to transition into that. So I need that time period of doing it. And I agree with Sean and C-Way that when we come down to it, the calm, nervous guy, he might be that turn up guy that I need from the times I want to turn up, but he also might be that stability in place that I need also for when it's time for me to do my transition. He might be in that space to help me transition into the places that I want to now go to. So that's what she has to figure out. So I do believe that her letting go Jabari in the first place to even open the door for Kenneth was probably the best. I mean, Kenneth, there I go again. Kentrell is the best move. Your name is Kenneth now tonight, okay? Just get used to it, sir. No, for Kentrell, it might have been the best move at the time. But to be honest, either one of those let goes could have been good. But I think for her, particularly because she has a knack of holding on to stuff too long, Jabari was the better fit for her, just to give it a shot in her transitional period of evolution, like learning how to do these things. You got to start somewhere. So it was a good start to let somebody that she feels so attached to go in that moment. And I think she made the right decision.
You know, I see a lot of comments, and although I don't agree with them 100%, I do think they have a point. I think another issue with Vernisha is that she's kind of selling two dreams, right? She's selling the Southern, I cook, I clean, I take care of my man vibe that she gives off. Like, she gives off a very kind of not modern, but more of a traditional woman type vibe in her aura. But she's also selling boss chick. I'm a boss. I got my own money. I'm trying to hustle and do this. I'm not saying you can't do both, but I think because she is probably both of those things deep down, she's going to have to really figure out how to package it, right? Because I think she's part of her, and a lot of us have multiple sides of us, right? But I think there is a part of her that did speak to Jabari and his how traditional he was and whatever. His problem, and I'm speaking to you, Glenn, is that he's a traditional man with no money. Like, you can't be a traditional and going 50-50. So he's out, period, right? Like, that's just not going to work because he's a contradiction. You can't be traditional man, but you want to split a check with me. That's not traditional, right? So he's out, period. But what I will say is that I do think that she's going to have to package her story, because the traditional side of her and the boss chick side of her may attract two different type of men, and she's either going to have to try to find a man that kind of blends with both of that, or kind of figure out what direction she wants to go. Because if she wants to keep her business and she wants to continue to flourish and she wants to be able to work and she really finds value in working and taking care of herself, then she just needs to express that and say, hey, I want a partner by my side to help lighten my load a little bit, but I still want to be who I want to be, right? But if you're kind of coming off with like, I really don't want to work, I want to be taken care of, then that's a totally different type of man. You see what I'm saying? So she's going to have to figure out how she packages it. But at the end of the day, there was no wrong decision with getting rid of Jabari because he was very rigid. It wasn't even that he was just a 50-50 dude. It wasn't even just the fact that he didn't make a lot of money. When a man does not want to bend on the fact that he wants you home before 5 o'clock, that's just very controlling. And that's a red flag to me, especially when you're not bringing in the income to tell me when I need to be home. So she needed to kind of get rid of him. But is Tabari the answer? I mean, I'm just going to be honest. No.
I totally agree with your line of thinking. That's what I just said. If she had to pick one, I think Jabari is the safer choice. But yeah, if you're not bringing in the income, you can't control, especially if you've got an independent woman who's been doing it by herself for so long, and this is her lifestyle, her livelihood. As we mentioned, I think we mentioned last week, she might be in the salon till like 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, right? Doing hair. Sometimes she do celebrity clients, whatever case may be. You can't control that. Especially if you ain't bringing nothing to the table and you happy with your lifestyle. Ain't nothing wrong with that. If he's happy with his lifestyle, then the other guy, I wish you could just say nobody on the show. I do. I think Vern's in a situation where she should be saying nobody, because I think she either one would hurt her.
Well, I mean, I hear what y'all are saying, but I also just feel like Vern don't know what she wants either. And she's modern and traditional all at the same time. And again, I'm not saying Jabari is the best answer, but he modern and traditional, like you said, Jay. And she's modern and traditional too, because she want to get home after 10, but she want to rest and relax and not have to work hard. Make it make sense. Like which one you want to do? Now I don't know. I know she keeps saying he has a modern lifestyle, so
I think you're confusing her with Zadia for the rest and relax part.
No, she did. She said I've been working so hard with my girls. She's had to raise her girls
somebody to lighten the load
herself. Yeah, she wants to lighten the load. That's lighten the load.
That's not relax. So Zadia wants you to take care of everything. She's not saying I want you to take care of everything. She still got her stuff.
I'm sorry. I don't. It just sounds like mishmash. Because how do you lighten your load if you ain't relaxing and scaling back a little bit from what you used to do? You know what I mean? Because if she's she's taking those late clients.
It's the bills, it's the responsibilities of house things. All of those things get lightened up when I have you. I don't have to think about my car responsibilities and getting maintenance on that and these things. It's all of that.
As a person who still works just as hard and now my load is lightened, I mean, I can tell you it exists. My load is now
listen, I think this is where people get confused. What I said earlier is, does it exist? Yes, but it is rare. So don't sell folks your dream because you found your dream, because it ain't gonna be for everybody to get that. Yeah, you may have it too, Jay. Yes, but listen, at the end of the day, y'all are not the rule.
And y'all women can have it too. Don't listen to Sean. Okay, y'all can have whatever y'all like.
Listen.
Hello.
Listen. Now we going real talk, okay? Where's Vern? How old is Vern? And how long has she been looking for it? And this is her second show that she's on.
That's because Vern don't know what she wants.
She's been struggling for a little while.
She don't know what she wants. See, me and Seaway know what we want, and we got it.
So then now you come around a little bit.
And we're direct. We ain't been doing it. I mean, I think if you're direct and you don't waste your time with Jabaris, then you can find somebody to lighten your load. I actually know plenty of women that are in the exact same situation as Vern. They're dating men that are working. This is 2023. Everybody is working. We're all working, but they are with husbands that are lighting their load because, you know, they want to do that. They still want to take care of their women, but everybody's working, contributing to the household. I mean, in some way, shape, or form. So I don't think what Vern wants is really out of sorts. I just think she needs to package it, because what Vern does that I do not do, I can tell you this, I ain't never sold a day in my life. I'm gonna cook, clean, and run your bath water. They ain't never came out my mouth. So in any of those type of men that are looking for the homemakers, they ain't came my way. So I don't even have that problem. So maybe she needs to, maybe if she's leaning towards the other way, she needs to stop with this. She needs to be like Cardi B. I don't cook, I don't clean. I'm gonna tell you how I got this ring. She needs to be singing that song, because singing these homemaker songs, and that's why I tell women on this platform, if you don't want to cook and clean and you really want to keep working but you want a man to lighten your load, don't sell that I cook and clean and run your bathwater bullcrap. I see that stuff on Kendra G all the time. Women get on there talking about I'll cook and clean and run your bathwater. Stop that bullcrap, because that's not what you're going to be doing anyway. Just tell the truth and see if you can find a man that, you know, will work with you. People be lying. So I really feel like she just needs to kind of, again, it's about packaging. She needs to package it a little bit better. That's all.
She also said she's fun. When he asked her about her, she's like, "Oh, I'm fun."
But then she didn't know what to do with fun for fun.
She didn't know what to do because she don't have that kind of fun. That's the reality. She doesn't have that kind of fun. I'm gonna be honest. You know, I think Vern is a little bit bland. I think she is. I think she's a little bit bland. I think she's a little bit bland. Not in a bad way. By the way, it's not a bad thing. I just think that she's a little bit bland. That's why when the brother asked her what kind of fun she can answer the question. But I want to say that I think with Vern, I do think she's a little bit confused. I think she's afraid of asking to be taken care of completely. So she finds herself in the middle ground. And that's very difficult because she's not choosing either or. So it gets confusing. And that's why she always gets, like you were saying, two types of guys coming your way. But the reality is either guy doesn't have exactly what she wants because she's also in confusion. So if you want if you're saying, I don't get the homemaker vibe from you because you said you want to run the streets. I mean, you're going to be working out late. You're going to be doing your salon. You're going to be doing your business. You're going to be working hard. You're not going to provide that homemaker vibe. I think she's using that as a plus add-on to get guys to really like her. Like, oh my gosh, she's a homemaker. Baby, I'm not saying you can't make the home. I think Vern can. I think she comes from that background. She can make the home. She can cook. She can clean. She can do all those things. But she's going to be tired. So she ain't doing that. And she's going to look at you dead in the eye and be like, to Jabbar, what are you bringing to the table, sir? He going to get cussed out. There's no point. It's not going to work. So I think the reality of the situation, maybe Jabari touched her heart a little bit, as Jay would say. I think he touched her heart in terms of maybe the emotional aspect. I think he really did maybe connect with her on emotional. I think that's where she wants to be emotionally, right? But in reality, financially, where he is, it doesn't allow her to be where she wants to be, which is she wants to rest. So you got to choose one, Vern, because you're sending out two messages. And unfortunately, people who are receiving it are getting two types of messages. So it's like there's confusion. So if she can just choose her lane and stick with it, I think she gets a little bit. I think that there are a lot of women, but specifically I'm talking about black women because I don't know about the other races. I only know black women. And I think what's happened here is that I think she's afraid to tell the truth. I think she's afraid to say, I want soft life. And I think she's afraid to say just outright, I want to be taken care of. Even though I'm making bank, I want to be taken care of. And even though a lot of people might not like it, you are sticking to what you like and what you want. You know what I'm saying to you? This is why women who come out and say, I want a man to pay all my bills, we look at them and go, I don't know why you're saying that. But then she ends up getting all her bills paid because that's what she wants. She truly wants that. So people are going to respond to that true desire. But if you find yourself in the middle ground, everyone always gets confused because you're neither here or you're neither there. And we can't choose effectively in you because either you're the homemaker, but you're the business person too. I'm going to need you to choose because you're not sure which one you stand upon. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that women can't do it all. You can.
I think she has a hard
Somebody
time.
said she has a hookah business. Is that true?
Yeah.
That's the same one that Q was probably sipping on.
Well, I want to say this to clarify. If she's out in the streets with a hookah business at night, that may be a conflict for even the sweaty man. I want to be clear out, but hustling doing hair is another thing. Huh?
If he do hookah, he might be out there with her. I don't know.
But if she's doing hair,
y'all seen the articles on hookah?
They don't care. They don't care. You see how they be out there, Sean. We seen how they was out there in Houston.
Lungs.
Well, she's out in these streets with a hookah business all night. That's the same thing I would say about women dating these club promoters and these DJs. That life is not for everybody. And if she's out in the club in these streets with a hookah business,
people, they forget that she's a package deal. She has kids, and one of them's not even grown yet. So when you got one that's just still a teenager, I believe it's 15, 14 years old, that's still a package deal. So when you asking somebody like Jabari or Tabari to come in and you talk about moving and on, you got to really think this thing through, because you ain't just uprooting your life, right? You uprooting somebody else's. And then when you add the fact that you want a soft life, well, if you got a soft life and he can't provide, he's not just hurting you, he's hurting your babies. You got one in college. You got people all over the place. So she's got to be able to be careful what she's looking for and what she's bringing into her and her circle when you're dealing with that, because it's not just her, but it's dealing with her kids. I don't think they bring it up that much, but it's a different dynamic when you still have young people that you're dealing with into your life. So she has to find out which avenue she wants to go. The homemaker life who's taking care of kids all the time, or the one out in the streets. So which one does she turn it off and on like, Clark Kent? She go in the phone booth, boom, here I am today, or here I'm not today, or what I'm doing. So it becomes a different dynamic, and she's looking for both, but can't have both.
And therein lies the confusion. And I think that's really just kind of like my main point. We got too much going on, and I think we got to scale. She just needs to scale it back a little. And she ain't moving her and her kids and her family to New Orleans, so we can just, because we done seen several of the ladies try to negotiate. Well, I'm not willing to move here, I'm not willing to move there. They ain't nary one of them moving nowhere. Maybe Ashley if Kirsten come around. And nobody's moving.
Sorry, Deacon. He done said nobody's moving. All right, cool. Let's move on to the next one. Sharice had a situation. She had Mizell. She had Danzy as well. It looked like it was going all well for Danzy till he touched her, and then she said, "Oh no 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 no," and that didn't go very well at all. But then Mizell came in there like some prince in a freaking Disney film. He was like, "Hello, let me take care of you. This guy is not serious about it." If I'm gonna say anybody's a player, this guy is time. One thing about players is they time things very well. It's an art to timing things very well. This brother, he's smooth. Don't get it twisted. He's smooth. He's with it, but he timed it to perfection. Old boy messed up a little, but he said, "Listen, darling, changes that tone." He had that nice rum, sweet tone about him. He said, "Hey, listen, don't worry about that, babe. This is a competition." They had Sharice eating on the palm of his hand. She's all laying her head on his shoulder, all resting up on the brother. Damn. Had that woman gone. What's you guys and ladies, what's your thoughts on this situation, congregation members? What's your thoughts on Sharice and her situation? Because, Danzy in the end doesn't look too good. So we'd love to know your thoughts on this.
See, I said it last week. Something about Mizell is not right. Something about him is not right. And we come to find out he a thief in the night will have you sliding down some walls. Okay. He about to have Sharice sliding down some walls. She keep up. Listen, I don't know what time of the night he just snuck off. I guess because they were so entertained by Danzy putting on the Ritz with all his drinking or whatever, that he had enough time to slide over to Vern and get her number. But I'm like, Sir, did you not notice how this party is set up? Why would you? Okay, so either production put you to this, or you a bold man. You a real bold man. And I ain't mad for seeing what you like and going after it, but bruh, okay. All right, do you on a date with a whole nother woman? All right. And then you showing up like you her savior and all this in the moments and stuff. That's what's crazier to me. So I'm like, he is not to be trusted at all. He is definitely that Zenzi, a smooth criminal for real, because I was this guy. He was winning up until the very end of the show. He really was winning up until Vern had to say, you know what? He asked for my number and he's been texting me. He's been using the number, not just he just asked for it. He's been using the number. Oh wow. So yeah, I guess Marisa will be back soon since we bringing back dates anyway. So I guess we'll be back to listen to Maurice eat his food. And Danzy, I'm sorry. If you cannot control your drinking in settings, I mean, this brother had every single drink under the moon. I mean, the oat bar was totally wide open. You went from dark, light wine, wine coolers, sake, like whatever was on that table, you was drinking. You have no limit. I'm me personally, I was triggered in that because I got my own experience with alcoholics, but like I don't think that's right for anybody. That nobody should be with somebody that cannot stop themselves and say, you know what, I think I've had too much. You had so much that you got to the point that you're starting to feel on this woman. And I'm glad she started to play it cool. And I know why that she played it cool, but it was just like you made her very uncomfortable, sir. You're already showing out. You're already embarrassing her, not only yourself, but you're embarrassing her too, or whatever. And it just was not a very good look. So yeah, we'll see Maurice again. I guess Maurice will be getting a phone call. He still want to take her out on the town, so I guess he'll be back next week.
Let's go next. That's fine. Glenn, go for us.
I was gonna say last thing real quick too.
Yeah,
And Marcel was bringing out the softer side.
As y'all mentioned, he is very smooth. I said we mentioned last week, still haven't figured out why he got a service dog, but there's something not quite right there mentally. But he is coming. He's the savior, man. He dropped in real smooth, actually. But Dancy made it easy for it, man. Well, like again, once you can't hold your liquor, if you know you can't hold your liquor, if you know drinking is a problem for you, you know this. He knew this before he got to the party. Right, and he knew this before he got there, and he got turned up, got that liquid carriage, and he, let me. Well, this is my date. We were feeling each other in the earlier date, so let me slide over here and put my arm on her back and see what we can get away with. And Sharice is not having it. She's like, hold on, don't you touch me. I didn't give you permission to touch me. Like, why are you touching me? And he was kind of scared at the fact. But again, when you have liquid courage and you think everybody's feeling you, the jokes were corny. Everybody know you getting liquored up for what? Right, you're here to try to win a date, not become drunk. You're here to get a date, not become an alcoholic. You know what I'm saying? You're here to find love, and you think that's impressionable? Can't be. Muzel, smooth operator, again, a player. I mean, old school player. Much love. Communication is great. I mean, when nobody else, he was working the room when nobody else was watching. He got digits. Now the question is really again the question of why Vern gave him his digits. Was it fair game? Is it open for everybody? Is it that type of party? Because if you knew this guy went on a date with Sharice and you cared, you wouldn't have gave him your digits. You wouldn't have gave him your number. We talked the last week about Stormy and Ashley. Like, is Vernon in the same category? You giving somebody else your digits when you wasn't supposed to. I mean, I ain't say you wasn't supposed to, but you knew what type of party it was. You know everybody was coupled up, but you still gonna take this guy digits anyway? That's a whole different discussion. So Sharice doesn't like neither one of them. I agree. Maurice is going to make his way back in the picture sooner or later. And I think we're going to start where we ended up at.
Glenn, one question. Who had a service dog?
Well, Muzel, if you mentioned when last week when they was talking about their dogs, Muzel said if real slightly you hear him say his dog was a service dog. And so, again, we know service dogs are for emotional distress. He might have been in the military. Something might be going on. Might be some PTSD or something. But he does have a service dog. And I'm just curious, why does he have a service dog? What's going on there to have him have some something emotional is going on for him to have a service dog or physical?
Good point. Oh, since Seaway's sitting this out, I guess I'll go next. She said she's sitting it out in the private
You
chat.
you just could have just moved on without saying anything. You just got to drop it. Sean, you just be blowing up spots for no reason. You had no reason to blow up the spot.
She's
right, you
putting
blow it
it
up, Sean.
out
You
is
blow it up.
blowing up a spot.
You blow it up,
Yes.
Sean.
Sorry.
Blow
He
it up.
said it in the back chat, Sean. Dang, we can't
Blow
write
it up,
nothing
Sean.
in
You
the
blow it
back
up.
no more.
Blow it up for them. Let them
Oops.
know. It's time to get them back for
Yeah,
all the damage they've
Oh,
given
yes,
you.
get your hands. That's right, Kojo. Get his hands dirty.
ID.
Yes, Sean. Get your hands dirty.
It's time,
You ain't
Sean.
gonna
It's time.
see.
This is your conscience.
Moving along. So yeah, no, I think Sharice is gonna struggle. And look, I'm definitely not in support of how whatever the guy that was drunk, Denzel, Wenzel, Wazel, Lazel, whatever his name is. No, that's Mizell is the other guy, Donzi. Yeah, I think it's just a bad sign when anyone can't, you can't hold your drinks, especially you on full display in front of people. Come on, that's just definitely a bad sign. But truth be told, I think if he was sober and he touched Sharice's shoulder, she would have sent him packing because she don't like him. And I think she made the biggest mistake by letting Maurice go, because those two, and again, this is where it comes back to, you got to wait. You're not going to get everything. It's not. And Sharice is mad because Maurice doesn't do a whole lot of talking. She don't do a whole lot of talking either. She's actually pretty quiet when she's not, trying to put somebody else's business on Front Street. She's actually pretty quiet, fairly reserved for the most part on her dates. So, live the lifestyle you want to live and have a good time with Maurice and entertain him. He don't want no more kids. I don't think she wants any more kids, or any kids, excuse me. So it's like, what are you looking for Prince Charming? You want somebody that's gonna wine and dine you and charm you and talk you up the street while you do what? You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, like. You talk about the dating pool is full of piss. Like, what are you're going to have to make some sacrifices. You sit out here, you're gonna weed through all these people, and then she's like, oh, she's getting off on the fact that he still seems like eliminating them gets them coming back. Well, you still like him then, because if you going you're gonna spin the block, you still like him a little, and maybe, just maybe, he's the right one for you. Because I don't think it's Mizell, and clearly Mizell is for everybody. He's for everybody and anybody, so whatever warm body comes his way, he's for them. So she better move around, because Maurice at least wasn't giving us that energy. So move around for Maurice. We know Danzy, he needs to go. Sober up and get up and move along, broski. But don't be hitching your wagon to Mizell, because his wagon is hitched to multiple different places. He's trying to follow Vernicia's wagon. And look, I don't blame him. That's a wagon to follow, but that ain't the right way if you're trying to have love. So that's what I think.
All right. Any more thoughts on Sharice before we shift it along? No. Cool. All right, cool. Let's shift it from that. Then let's go to Ashley, the Dawn, and Kristen. Let's get their thoughts as well, because Don came through. You know what I'm saying? Like, he came clutch. It was a last minute touchdown. You know what I'm saying to you? The Don came through, said, you know what? I was in 22nd place on the Formula One grid, but I came right to the front. You know what I'm saying? Overlapped a couple goons. Loved it. But what's your thoughts on Ashley, the Don, Kristen? She even kissed Kristen. I mean, she did the whole, hand on the back of their head kiss too. I said, Ashley, you slide down the motherfucking walls. How are you gonna give him that little cup of when the girls do the cup your head? That's a deep affection when they cup the back of your bald head. Sean, they cup the back of the bald head. They got the nails there too as well. She was in deep, and it wasn't a heavy kiss, but it was just enough. I said, she gonna slide down the wall.
See, the spirit is telling me to say something right now, Kojo. Okay,
Oh,
this is specifically for me and you, and nothing to nobody on the panel because y'all did y'all damn thing when we had this talk the last time. But it was some people that it was in the comments that was coming for me and you, Kojo, and my spirit is telling me that they need to get it off their chest and go ahead and tell us
what's the
how
realms
they
of the
got it
spirit
wrong.
saying?
How they got it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Because they was telling us about ourselves for talking up to Ashley, who is actually the person on the show, who the focus is actually is on, not on Christian and not on Stormy, but the focus is on Ashley. But because we had our words for where Ashley has failed herself in the past, and we're looking out for Ashley, we were wrong for addressing our good sis. And I just want to put that out there because something is telling me that some of them people that was coming for us the way that they need to go ahead and repent for their ways because it was just a tad bit harsh at how they was coming at. They told us they had lost respect and it was very distasteful of us to address Ashley in that moment. Okay, you guys can go ahead and give y'all, and I'll come back to it. I just needed to give a moment to let
It's one
that
of my
one.
favorite songs. That is it's one of my favorite songs. Come back to the Lord. It's one of my favorite songs. Look at let me get one. Let me get one of your. Come back,
You're not supposed to sing.
Yes,
sing for us a little, Kojo. I love it when you sing.
You don't hear the song already? The Song of Heaven. You didn't hear it?
No. Go ahead. Hit us with a note or two.
Oh no. Listen, I can't even do that. The notes were sweet already from the worship leader. I don't want to overtake her position. I know my role. Deacon, you heard the music, you heard the worship. It was powerful. I want to get your thoughts on Ashley. Uplift us with your insights and what you saw.
I don't know how uplifted I'm gonna be because
because she said she's troubled.
Yeah, because Ashley is down bad. I'm a little disappointed in Ashley because as much as that whole scenario that played out with her, Stormy, and Kirsten in the previous episodes, I just really wish she would have just handled herself better in that she would have held room for everybody to be accountable. And she just so quickly excused Kirsten and was just like, oh, it was all Stormy. And it's like, come on, sis. Where's his accountability? Where is, what he could have done differently? And he showed up late. He showed up late. And this is coming from the person that it's ironic because I am habitually late, but I just think all the signs are there. But I will tell you that, if I'm interested in you, you're going to know and you're not going to have to guess. I might be late. Not on the first date, but I might be late.
Are we going to know? Are you sure?
What'd you say?
Are we going to know that you're interested?
Of course you'll know.
You sure?
See, wait, goodbye.
This is why I told you to keep that pressure on them, brother. Deacon, don't let first lady speak to you like that, okay? Let her know.
You know what? I've learned. I've climbed some hills, but what I'm not going to do is, engage in a tit for tat with you.
That's right.
Yes, a woman will know when I'm interested. Now, if she chooses to not know or she chooses to play some series of games, if she expects me to drop down a helicopter note, then no, she's not going to get that from me. But she will know. And she won't have to read smoke signals to find out. But yeah, no, I think that's my main issue with Ashley is that she is so enamored and a little infatuated with Kirsten that she just neglected to have the accountability. Meanwhile, Donald, one missed text that he actually sent, she's chucking the deuces and saying bye. You know what I mean? And here he is again spinning her around, and now she's loving the attention. But the minute Kirsten steps on the scene with his gangster lean, she's mouth kissing and caressing the back of his head. So I just think Ashley needs a little bit better decision making. Her picker needs to really be adjusted. As much as, and I'm a man that says I want to know if a woman is interested in me. I want to know if a woman is attracted to me, and if she's not, I want move around. But I also don't need, especially in the early stages, all of this. Oh my God, you're so handsome, and blah 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 blah. All of that. It is a lot. It's a lot, and with the wrong guy, you're going to get taken advantage of, because they're going to take all that energy and take you for what they want from you. Because most of us, all that blah 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 blah, and all of that kissy kissy. Oh yeah. No, we want the, Oh, we don't want that. I'm sorry. That's right. That sound effect is for the opposite. I apologize. We want the, so that's what Ashley needs to just be careful about. Just don't do too much, because the men are going to oblige you, and she's going to mistake, Kirsten kissing her in the mouth and taking all that attention like, oh, he likes you. Nah, he just might like you for right now. So that's it. I'm done.
Thank you, Deacon, with the sound effects. Congregation is concerned. Glenn, talk to me.
Man, just on Ashley real quick, I don't think she values herself and the confidence that she shows, especially when other women she thinks are more beautiful than her or more attractive than her is in the room. She talks about her insecurities, and her insecurities, that the value she devalues herself when it comes to different relationships, and she knows that. She admits to that. With Kirsten, I agree with Sean. She let him off the hook. She did. She said, "I know that Stormy was flirting with you. Like it wasn't one sided, right? It was both ways. They were flirting with each other, and I don't know how she could just let this dude get off the hook for this situation. And you wouldn't even let a guy who showed you he texted you, you kicked him to the curb, right? You didn't let him off the hook, but a guy can disrespect you in front of your face, dealing with another woman, and you willing to grab him by the back of his head and put smooches on him and kiss him. And then you have nerve that if you have to tell your spouse, or not spouse, or you have to tell your partner, the person you dating, if you screw me over, I'm gonna beat your butt. You may not want to be dating that person anyway, because they already screwed you over. They already showed you they're gonna screw you over. If you have to give somebody that type of warning, you might not want to be with them in the first place, right? Because you know what they're capable of doing, and you think your warning gonna stop his misbehavior. It's not the case. With Donald's situation, I think Donald really cares about her. He really likes her. He still was texting her throughout. I think she likes Donald. I think her insecurities let Donald go. Sometimes she didn't know what she had because she thought Kirsten was that much better. But he let her down. I mean, Kirsten let her down, and Donald just happened to be that spare tire that was in the trunk that she could pull out. And then he's showing her the affection and love that she needs. I mean, it's what she's looking for. I mean, what she wants. She wants all eyes to be on her. And Donald was being able to embrace that and give her that need, and she loves it. Now, how long it's gonna last? It depends. Did he learn? Did he learn from his mistakes? Is he gonna continue to communicate if they get back in a relationship? Is Ashley's gonna be more attentive? Me personally, I hope Kirsten shows up. I'm down for it. I want to see what happens when Kirsten shows up. Do she show Donald the same attention and love? Do she kick Kirsten to the curb? All right. Do she go off on him like she did Donald and let him go because of him not showing up? I think not showing up is more detrimental than not sending a text message. So again, you want somebody to show up for you. He didn't show up. Donald is a guy that's there. I thought it was a little extra with the whole picking her up and spinning her around, doing all that. I think that was a little extra, but again, that's the way he wants to show affection. Let him show affection like that. But it made put eyes on her and him that this could be a good relationship. But I still think there's a lot more there. But Ashley needs to get out of her own way and value herself more than she does to be in a relationship.
Thank you, Glenn. First lady, those who should be first shall be last. Go for it.
Well, if you don't have anything nice to say, you shouldn't say anything. I don't have nothing nice to say.
Well, First Lady, can you be constructive? The congregation wants to hear some constructive words at this time in the season. There could be a sister out there who also could be sliding down the wall. So we would like some constructive criticism in terms of not sliding down the wall.
No, I'm just gonna start screaming, pick me, pick me, pick me. That's all I saw.
Now, First Lady, we just want to get a little bit of a word from you. That's all.
I really don't know how to be constructive here. I think Ashley is a little nuts. Her pick me meter is on 5,000 billion trillion. To act as if Stormy was the only one with the Jezebel spirit in that situation was asinine. Kirsten, I hate his name. Kirsten literally was horrendous. And the fact that she is like defending him in any way, her self-esteem is in the floor. She needs to let Donald go. Donald should let himself go. She can't be helped. We're all wasting our energy with her. She can't be helped. She thinks she's too good for Donald and not good enough for Kirsten. What an unfortunate situation. Like, I don't know. I have nothing nice to say.
I shouldn't laugh. Thank you, First Lady. Maybe I shouldn't have taken your suggestion and left you not say anything. Yes, Deacon, you want to say something? Oh, okay. No, worship leader wants to go. No.
It's no need to go now. Everything has been exploded at this point. I don't know. Maybe I should pick up these pieces that are left all over the place. Let me see if I can gather some of Ashley back
Please,
up.
worship leader. We're broken.
Right.
We're broken already in spirit. Just help us on this. First Lady came with a word and the microphone.
But I mean, we was being attacked last week for just being nice to her and telling her about ourselves, and now Seaway like be move. Okay, you done pissed me off. You done pissed the Sag off, and she's really pissed because I know why Seaway is pissed because last week we had agreed that she needed to dump Stormy, Christian, and everybody else at production too at that point or whatever. And here she go holding on to him. Now here, I will say this though. I will see this. My little dark arts was tingling in the moment. And yes, they were tingling in the moment at the kitchen when she had talked to Christian and stuff like that. Because I was like, girl, there's no way that you're doing this out of free will, free cognizance and stuff like this. This is production making you hold on to this man. I do believe production set you up on them nasty little terrible dates that you wouldn't choose the other date over Christian when he decided to come back so they can have some chaos and drama. So I will give her the production edit on this one for the simple fact that I feel like they have to make a choice on somebody. They can't just say, I don't want both parties and I need a new person. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully somebody come out and prove me wrong that they actually could have picked a new person because that would have been best for her. But in this, I'm going to play devil's advocate. I'm going to say that she couldn't pick another person. So she's going to go with the lesser of the two evils because ain't no way whatever that one last week was going to be picked. I'm so sorry. It's no. Okay. Over Christian. And yes, we'll take Sean, this is where y'all win in this one. When y'all good looking and toxic, we'll take y'all too. Okay. We take y'all too when you're good looking and toxic. Okay, that's when we do want y'all, when we have no business with y'all. All right. Now, if you come with some money and some other stuff, we might hang on a little longer too. We might be some fools for you. However, I feel like Ashley is playing along in this moment to have her get back with Christian. Because that's what I want to hope for her. I want to hope that her dark arcs kicked in this moment and said, oh, yes, Poppy, I'm going to be your little whatever, hey, poo, or whatever, and rubbed him on the back of the head, suck him right back on in so he could be sliding down the walls next. Okay, Sean, calm down on the wordage, okay? Calm down. I see your head turning. Pause. Turn you off right now. You done made the noise, and now you want to get... But I'm hoping... I'm hoping her dark arts really kicks in and so she can get her lick back and go ahead. And I was hoping this moment would be for her because when Donald show up, I was hoping Christian show up too, so she can go ahead and have her lick back. But obviously, he played her on that one, so he got the upper end again. God damn, she is not winning. Production hates her. I'm sorry. Production hates her. I would be fighting everybody on production. And I was listening to Zadia live earlier today, and it was funny because Zadia, Camille, and Vern was on, and they was asking this specific question on would they had tried this with Vern? Would they have played this game with Vern by bringing somebody that they don't really know onto the show to be their friend and sit in on their date to ask questions? And Vern was like, heck no, because they know not to play with me like this. And they know that play with Cherie and Ashley in this manner. So I'm like, they plan on your top, sis. So play back if that's what you're gonna do with Christian. I hope that's what she does. Is that his name? I really don't know. I don't care. Kirsten, Christian Thompson, Tristan. Okay, whatever his name is, I don't care for the man anyway. So he irked me. He irked me this whole episode, really did. But I'm trying to give her the grace. Okay. I'm trying to find the grace to give her back because Seaway totally destroyed her. So y'all just work with me as I pick up these pieces of Ashley. Okay. I'm trying to find all her body parts back, but I just want her to get her lick back with this man. I'm glad y'all could say y'all want about Donald. I'm glad that Donald showed that, I can make a mistake and redeem myself, but I'm also with Seaway. Donald, go ahead and relieve yourself because she cut you off for a mistext or a text that she said that she didn't get. So cut your losses because if she's going to be that petty with you, it's probably only going to get worse. She needs a lot of healing. Yes, we all do know this. But what we need to start doing is giving her ways to start healing and instead of just keep pointing out that she needs the healing. She first needs to figure out how to love on herself a lot more. Ashley is a very beautiful woman. I'm sorry. I don't care what y'all say. She is, to me, is a very beautiful woman, especially in the moments where she has the less makeup around her eyes and stuff. I really got to see how big and beautiful and symmetrical her eyes really are. And they frame the rest of her face all well together. Got a body on her. Like, she is gorgeous and rocking. Everybody cannot rock a short haircut. Let's start there. Everybody cannot do that. She rocks that very, very well. I need her to love on herself that much. Like, sit all day in the mirror and just really love on herself to the point that she understands who she is, what she wants, and what she needs out of life, a relationship, and friendships. And she'll stop letting people walk all over her. She'll get them boundaries up. And I want her to just like really have full confidence in herself when she walks out into this world, that she just knows that she is that one. And whoever is coming into her presence is like gaining a blessing. And so she don't have to keep selling herself short. Because that's what she's doing right now, is selling herself short to try to appease people that don't really see her in that manner. So I need her to see herself in that manner first. We'll start there. And then the rest just hopefully start falling in line after that. So I'll leave it there.
I'm just finding it hard to sympathize with her when she's treating Donald like trash. So she has some type of self-worth because she thinks she's better than Donald.
No, she thinks Christian was better than Donald. That's the problem. She fancies Christian's look over Donald's look. Possibly some of his energy as well, like that talkative energy that he got, all that spunk he has. She probably favors that, but I don't think she just thinks she's better than Donald because she was still tussling with that man for attention herself.
I'm not too sure. Maybe you're right. Maybe you're wrong. But the way she treating Donald, I just, I mean, do I think she has low self-esteem? For sure. No, it's not Christian. It's Kirsten. Jay won't let him be Kirsten because it's a stupid behind name. But I don't know. I struggle. I think her self-esteem is in the floor for sure. But she still seems to have some type of superiority complex when it comes to Donald with the way she's treating him. So I don't know. I think I'm just going to go back to saying nothing because honestly, I just think she's nuts. And that's really.
Well, we also know that hurt people gonna hurt people. So it's like, as long as she's in that cycle of feeling like the world is against her, because she's kind of in that space. It was until I wrote that matchmaker lady name down because she had won my book this week, but I forgot her name already.
Tamika.
But Tamika. Yeah, when Tamika had called her out, she acknowledged it. So it's like, you're hurt. So we're starting somewhere. Now they let the healing begin, since we acknowledge that, yes, I do have a little bit of an insecurity, and I'm not going to, I had another name for it because I didn't want to call it insecurity.
It ain't a little bit. It's a lot.
Yeah, but I didn't want to call it insecurity because sometimes this happens when it's not an insecurity. It's really an outward placed insecurity that's placed upon her from failed relationships of the past, and maybe even stemming from childhood. So it's not something that's really in her, I don't think, but it's placed so deep in her, she can't get it off of her. She can't get it out of her. And I just need her to get in that space to where she's just really comfortable with who she is, know who she is, and knows her worth with people. And she won't keep making these same mistakes and looking at every woman as competition. Like, you shouldn't be competing with nobody. Real talk. Like, I know what I bring to the table. So if you look at me and you don't see that, that's on you. Let me move around, because there's some people that's going to see me for me. And sometimes we got to take off them goggles, and this is where the men hates us, but we have to start looking at people that are less attractive in our eyes, because just as much as we fancy them, they do not fancy us the same way. So she got to go find out what it is that she really wants. She's another Vern in a way. She got to figure out what she really wants out of a person who's to be her partner for life, and start looking for those values in people, and stop looking outward, out the outer shell of them, and give them all these overwhelming compliments too soon. You was going to say something, Seaway?
Okay. Appreciate it. I mean, personally, I think with Ash's situation, it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that it's got to that point. You know what I mean? Like that. Not even sad. Let me say. Can I say sad? I guess I can say sad. But for me personally, I think with Ashley, she just needs to love herself, and she needs to, that's going to be a journey that she needs to undertake. I've said this before, right? And I think she's on that journey. I just think that she's overcompensating a little bit, overcorrecting. But definitely, I think with Kristen, listen, I'm not even going to hate on her for the Kristen situation. It happens to all of us. You get ahead of yourself. You think you're going to catch the bigger fish, but when you don't realize, in doing so, you have to be aware. Like, and I always tell people this: like, you got to be aware of the game and where you stand in the game. Right? It's a battlefield. Know where you stand. Yeah. And when you like somebody, you need to assess whether they like you back the same way. When they're not giving you the same energy that you're giving out, it's probably an indication they're not feeling you the same way. And if you find someone else is giving you more of the energy, right, but you're not giving them the energy, you need to understand where you stand with that person. Now, of course, I think Ashley's clocked very well that Donald wasn't for her. She felt like she was better. I don't want to say better, but I think she felt like he liked her. Maybe she felt like he liked her more than she liked him, or whatever. Or who knows, right? But with a Kristen situation, she likes him more than he likes her. So she's in that place, that limbo place where people find themselves where they got two people, one above, one below, and they are in limbo because they're in the middle. The person above them, they like them more. Person below them, the person likes them more, and they find themselves in limbo. I think personally, that Ashley, Kristen is not the right person for her. And I think she did find Kristen more attractive, and she tried to go for the big fish, and it's backfired on her because the big fish don't want to like that. Yeah.
I think
the big fish don't want that.
Go for it. Like last name first says, why is the solution for women to always go to find an ugly guy? Why can't women look to like who they are dating too? I think this goes to the Kevin Samuels concept that people seem to be missing. You can go for the guy that you like, and you can pass up on someone who you find to be less attractive. But that's when self-awareness has to come into play, right? Like you can go for a person like Kirsten, right? Let's just say his personality wasn't trash and all that. You can go for a person like Kirsten, but you have to be aware, are you somebody that Kirsten wants? And if you're not clear whether you're somebody who Kirsten wants, then you can't go for somebody. You can go for him, but you're going to get played. People have to figure out where they are in this societal system. And if you believe that you can pull somebody like Kirsten, you better make sure you can. Otherwise, you're going to be looking stupid like how Ashley's looking. And every single time he goes on a date with someone who, I'm not going to sit here and say they look better. That's his decision, right? I don't know what he finds to look better. But he goes on one date with Stormy and he is falling apart, right? Like him falling apart like that, that's a problem. So I think that's why a lot of women, they end up with men that maybe not be the people who look like Kirsten, but they really love them. And that's a safer space for them to be in, you know? But if you want to go for the supermodel looking dudes, just trust and believe. And don't let him be a supermodel dude with some funds. Trust and believe. I hope you're the big fish too. Because you're gonna be sliding down the wall crying. Ashley was better off with somebody like Donald. Because at the end of the day, as women, I feel like the most important thing for us is to be treated well and taken care of. And for me, that's what matters more than anything. If you can find a super beautiful man that loves you and treats you well, then you done hit the lottery, sis, go off. But running after a whole bunch of people like Kirsten is just not a good gamble. To me, that's gambling. So that's up to you if you want to do that. And personally, I don't even see it for Kirsten, but that's, neither here nor there. But I just think we need to keep that in mind. So.
Well, I think the ladies have said it wisely and nothing for me to tussle about on that point. But what I will say is that I think what's transpired now between Ashley, Donald, and Kirsten is a power play. So I think, unfortunately, now that Ashley is in more of a power position because she has dismissed Donald, and now he's really trying to gain his way back into her good graces, she is more so loving the energy from a power perspective where she doesn't have to guess or feel insecure about whether he likes her, but she's mismanaging that. And I think that just goes into, her still needing to do some work. Because if you like him, then, continue to pursue him. And I'm not saying leave Kirsten all the way alone, but if he's giving you the energy and you legit like him, then I always say go where you're appreciated, right? Kirsten is giving her little tidbits of himself just to keep her hanging on. But Donald is showing true interest, but she's not really handling Donald the right way. Because although she said she's learning to get over the fact that there was a miscommunication, she's still holding him hostage to them stupid text messages that didn't connect to her phone. So that's what I think. Is she's getting a little amped up about the power, because he gives her the energy. So if he's giving you the energy, he's picking you up, he's spinning you around, he's telling you you look like a Jamaican beef patty. You're loving it. You're soaking it up. You're sopping it up. It's making her, warm and tingly, as Jay said, right? Go where you warm and tingly. Why you want to go somewhere where you got to put in a lot of effort? And Kirsten is going to be a lot of effort because he seems to like to just, and we all see Ashley is attractive. So it's not like he's like, oh, she's not attractive. He just might not be into her. He already done told her that he thinks the nails are too much. That's the first sign that he's not fully buying everything that you're selling. And then he played in your face a little bit together with your BFF there.
That's funny because Smack 2 just said there's some advice one of my male friends gave me before. Like the men that like you. It's the easiest way to put it. Like the ones that like you. You keep running after the ones that don't like you. Like they like you, but they don't like you. They want something from you, but you overall, they don't like you. So yeah, I'll say that same thing too, Sean. Go for the men that like you.
Yeah,
Right
I
now, trying
totally
to
Say the
be that
same
one.
thing.
the same thing.
Go
If he
again.
likes you, he put the interest in. If he likes you, he'll put the effort behind it, and we see no effort from Kirsten. At least you do see the effort from Donald. Even when he was eliminated, the effort came up. He tried to correct his wrong. Kirsten, there's no effort, right? There's a party going on. Show the effort. That's probably why he hasn't been in a relationship for a long time. You go back to when his vignette when he was dating, he hadn't been in a long-term relationship. Hasn't been in a relationship in a long time because he hasn't put forth the effort. He liked to be in the streets. He likes to be out there. And then, he's not the one. And she's putting the effort. But go to your point, Sean, a power play. When he comes back, we can show Ashley's going to show that she's in control. She's going to show that she has power, and she's going to dismiss him. Hopefully, she dismisses him because she has that power, and she's been hurt. She's hurt that he didn't show up. Donald did show up, and now she can show him, hey, I got somebody else. Because once again, y'all said it, hurt people hurt people. So she's hurt. She's going to hurt Kirsten for hurting her.
Els F made a good point, and we appreciate the honesty. She's saying that the men that like her, she's not sexually attracted to them. They don't get her engines. She.
We gotta do all the clap. We gotta do all them side effects. Why?
Listen, a couple of the ladies was liking the clapping. They said, they was enjoying it. So don't come on this screen with your beautiful self disrupting my little bit of antics.
And let me speak to that comment. Can I speak to that comment real quick too? Because that was my dilemma. I was like, well, the ones that like me don't like that, like me. I don't like them. But I realized it's within the ones that you're dating. It's the one that likes you within the ones that you're dating. This is for people that date multiple people at a time. Like if you can't be out here just dating one person and hope that that's the person that likes you. This is for people that's actually keeping their options pretty much open. And out of those options, there's one that actually likes you for you. And that's the one that you should be putting the most time and effort into or whatever. I ain't going to tell you to cut off the rest. You know what I'm saying? Don't cut yourself short, child, out here. But go ahead and put a little bit more effort into the one who is actually putting the effort into you. So yeah, I was in that same space, Viva. Like I was like, say what now? Like the ones everybody like me. No, it's like everybody wants them.
I just think one more thing, and it'll be no sound effects to this. I think there's a point that you have to look at what you're looking for, and it's not to say you settle, but does that person have the qualities that you want? Do they like you? And the ladies have sold us on the fact that their attraction can grow. So then get to know their mind, get to know them, and hopefully your spirits can bind, right? And you guys can connect on that level so that once it does come down to the sexual part, it's but it's just going to take a little while. It's got to build. I'm sorry, I put a sound effect. I apologize. It was a punctuation.
It's killing me.
It's a punctuation. Deacon is in a whole lot of mess right now.
No, you can't call him Deacon all that clapping and unnecessary sound.
What do deacons do? Deacons be clapping
trying to get the choir going.
Trying to get the congregation going.
We go get the double clap. Can we get the double clap? Get the double clap.
He's been in Jamaica too long, Lord.
Somebody else said a comment. I'm sorry if you did say this, raise your hand. I can't remember who it was, that they're just tired of seeing these shows where it feels like Black women aren't chosen or can't really find love. And what I'm seeming to find on these shows is that we're kind of talking past each other, because I do think we could have had a show where Black people found love if Ashley would have picked Donald. Because on other shows with these folks, a lot of times they're going for a nice guy like Donald, and they're passing up some of this nonsense, So, and I'm not saying Donald's perfect, but I think we just have to look at what we're looking for. I also think there's another problem that we see with dating shows with us is that, unfortunately, and I've said this before, because of what went down in the 80s and the 90s and mass incarceration and cultural issues, Black women are outpacing a lot of Black men. And so when you have dating shows, you're getting a microcosm of that. I think you don't see that on white dating shows. Like, you literally see all the white men, they're not brokies, they're not 50-50 warriors, and they're allowing the white women to be hypergamous. On our shows, you have Black women who are very, very successful, and then they're dating people who are not successful or don't have a lot of money. And I think that's also why we're not seeing the love stories that we would like to on these shows. And I think that's causing a big issue, because the Black men that are successful tend to not be going on these shows. And then you have a lot of men, and then the ones that are successful are going on these shows. I'm finding that there's usually something wrong with a lot of them. And I won't name any names, but there be something really wrong, for sure, with few exceptions. So,
and that's why they're on the show in the first place. It goes back to what Liz said. Sometimes you gotta have people who are equally yoked, and I think when you're dealing with these type of shows, they have people that come on that's kind of in the same kind of ballpark, in the same type of figure, so they can easily match them up on in that case, in that situation. Because you look at some of the professions of the guys that were on this show, they can't match with some of the women that's on this show. If you come to look at it, so
and that's
the ones that could match, and
the
ones that could match was something socially awkward was wrong, that they got rid of them. They didn't want to choose them anyway.
Right, because imagine if Jabari actually would have had the success level that Vern needed. Let's say he was still rigid, but he was pulling in enough money to really make Vern think seriously about the fact that, okay, babe, I'll be at home at 5 o'clock. You know what I mean? Like, if you're pulling in money, you know, some real money, maybe she will be home at 5 o'clock, you know? But now she has to choose between somebody like Jabari and somebody who, to me, is not taking stuff seriously at all. And I think that tends to be the problem. I think the only person that actually got someone that is doing, you know, both is Zadia, and that's why she's holding on for dear life, as she should. Now we'll get to her other mess, but I mean, she's the only one that actually has a successful dude that has good conversation and showing interest. So it's hard.
I personally don't think there's anything wrong with Jabari. I just think that he doesn't make enough money for our good sis. You know what I mean? I think she makes a lot of money, and fair play onto her. And I always say this: when you make a lot of good money, you price yourself out the market, because you have to go for someone who makes more than you in order to be able to rest and feel comfortable. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself working like everybody else. It's very tough to find someone who can pay all your bills, you know what I mean, and has all the money to do so. It's a smaller market. So it makes it harder. So in fact, what we have to really be saying, and women will not like this, y'all need to get competitive, because you're outnumbered. Those men are outnumbered. So y'all need to get competitive. Now, someone might say that's a bit of also, I don't want to sound like we are almost saying, there's no abundance of men. I'm not saying there's not an abundance of men.
Mindset. Yeah,
scarcity mindset. Yeah. I don't want it to be a scarcity mindset. I just want it to be real, that those men, like you said, these type of men also rarely come onto shows like this, unless it's the odd one out that comes on here who's sane, who's business savvy, got his together, is killing it in the market. It's usually rare, because usually they have those type of people. I have one or two. They have a really successful and they have good social skills, so they're killing it already. They don't need the show. Or there's other ones who are slightly awkward, who are killing it, but they're slightly awkward. So they need the show, because you know what? They need a bit of help trying to find that kind of mate. And that person being slightly awkward ain't the person that you really wanted. So it's tough out there. I'm saying that because Anisha's doing her thing and she's earning the kind of money she's going to be earning, she's going to expect a certain lifestyle. It makes it a little bit more harder to find the kind of man you want. So I feel for people like Vernon and some of them, because this is not an easy space to be in, but it's unfortunately part of the reality that you kind of price yourself out the market on these type of shows, and I don't think these shows really help matchmake in the first place. They're not good shows to matchmake. You want to get someone, get a matchmade millionaire. Okay.
And I
Yeah,
think
sure.
This is a question I have real quick. Jabari may be out of her league because she makes more than him, but is he out of her league?
I mean,
What do you mean by that?
that's right.
Because men and women are looking for two different things, right? So just like you said earlier, you have to go where you're, as a woman, you were saying like you need to go where you're wanted. You also need to have a level of honesty in terms of who likes you and where you fall in line, right? They have a lot of things in common. They both have kids in college. They're both in a similar stage in life. Is she going to run up against a man that has everything that she wants, and then he's going to want her back and give her that same energy? That's what I'm saying. I think they're in each other's league. I just think they're missing each other on some things that maybe sometimes you got to sit back and say, like, listen, I don't know Jabari. I don't have a hat in the ring. I'm not saying he's the best thing in sliced white bread. But I'm also saying at a certain point, you have to get to your life and say, hey, listen, I've got to X. Maybe I need to make some concessions. And maybe I think somebody's outside of my league, but are they really outside of my league? Because would he be faithful to her? Would he really like her? Is he invested in her? Do they have similar things in common? Do they share the same core values? Those are the things that are going to make relationships last longer. She may make more money than him. And as we all see, that doesn't always equal for the best relationship options, and money don't make the relationship go round. The two people in it that love each other, that want to be together, make it go round. Money comes and goes. So what I'm saying is, if you peel back the onion a little bit, are they more compatible than not?
I don't think they're compatible at all. That man is a 50-50 warrior with very limited resources. And Vern, at the end of the day, is hypergamous, and that's the reason why she's still single. She's actually really waiting for someone that is more successful. I think Vern is bumping up against a thing that I think a lot of entrepreneurs or women who have made a lot of money but may not be in the field where you're bumping up against a lot of men. She has made a decent amount of money and a living, but she's not running in the circles of men that she actually really wants to date. I think that's her problem. It's a lot easier if you go a traditional route where you were in accounting school, med school, law school, doing some type of business school, or any type of field where you're bumping up against successful men, or you're running in fields with successful men. You have a higher likelihood of actually meeting these people. Or even if you don't do that route, maybe you're working in real estate where you're bumping against the people. You have to be in areas where you're finding successful men. If you're a hairstylist and you have a hookah business, the type of person that people that she's bumping up against are not who she actually wants to be with. And she has other issues, as well. But there's nothing wrong with Jabari being a simple guy, 50-50 warrior. The problem is he's also controlling and rigid, and I don't know who that's going to work for, but it's definitely not going to work for Vern. So.
Thank you very much. Okay, no one else want to jump in? Okay. Cool. Let's jump on to the last one then. For the last 20 minutes or so. We got Zadia and Cameron. He didn't turn up to the party because he was working. Yes. My brother didn't turn up to the party because he has a job, a job. Okay, and it requires time, effort, and energy into doing his job. Okay, but unfortunately, he didn't turn up to the party. Well, so far, anyway, because it's not finished. And it seems like that hurt Zadie. I did feel a little bit sorry for her, because even though I know he said he'll be late, like it's your birthday, and I get it. You know what I mean? Like as much as I always talk about Zadia coming on a wild thing, you know, it's a little bit of a moment to slide on the wall. You know what I mean? Like you want to see your partner that you like, you know, the person that you like, the person that you're interested in, you know, especially when you're just starting out, you know, when it's fresh, it's new, and there's somebody that you really, really like. You just can't wait to see them at that party and just be like, oh, I'm so glad you're here. Like, you know, it makes your day better. And I get it. You know what I mean? So I did feel some type of way for her, like, because then, and then not to mention the fact that all the girls had their man there as well. So it just doubled up the pain. And I did feel for some way about that as well. But obviously we don't know if it's not going to show up yet. I think we haven't finished that. They didn't show us anything for next week that was going to say that he didn't turn up. So we're gonna have to wait and see. But yeah, love to get you guys' thoughts. You know, what's your thoughts on Zadia Cameron situation, and you know, where do you sit with this situation?
Jay, you want to go first?
Yes, I can get up out of here. So it's a tough one because listen, I'm a factor in these things. How much time did he get to know about this party? You know what I'm saying? Because that's a big thing for a person that has to work and has commitments, is the time crunch on when they got the notification to show up at this event. He did tell her that he'll be late. Things happen. I don't know what his total position at where he works at, or which job he was working in this particular setting he was doing. However, it is when you have something big going on and you want somebody there, it's a big letdown when they're not there. Now, we do still have time for him to show up. I don't really know. But I felt Zadia in that moment, because I would feel the same way. I'm looking around, looking at everybody being booed up with their potentials, whatever, 1, 2, and 3, and I only got the one. And my one is not there with me. Now I got to mingle with likes of other people and all this stuff, or, you know, eat my solo plates, my low vibrational Dixie plates all by myself. I will be feeling some type of way too. But it's a sacrifice that you do make when you want a particular type of individual. If you want a man that is out here hardworking, go-getter, entrepreneur, running business, this, that, and the third, these days do come a lot. You'll have a lot of these arguments on you're not there for the family, you're not there for me, these type of stuff, because for them, work is the priority. And until they transition and put you in that space, it's going to be a lot of back and forth. I'm going. Oh, somebody pass me a gun.
What happened? What I missed?
You missed it. You missed it.
Don't worry about it. But
I missed it too. What happened?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Glenn. Jump in there, Glenn, because my thought is gone now.
No, you good. You good. You know, well, he's a doctor of pharmacy, so we don't know where he's at. But I do say this: did y'all catch? To me, I think Tamika likes Cameron more than Zadia likes Cameron. So Tamika was really like, "Yo, Cameron's a really good guy. He really much love." She was talking up Cameron like, "This is the one for you." You know, I thought she was really she was talking Cameron up a little too much, in my opinion, for Zadia. But Zadia is really stuck on Cameron. I mean, she's turning everybody else down, right? But I think it's also production's not giving her anybody else that can match up to what Cameron is, right? She's talking about she wants a 6-foot guy and all this, and they're giving her 5'7", 5'8" guys, somebody who can't match up. So I think they're creating a storyline for Zadia to stay with Cameron. I think, Jay, you said that she has to be, if you got a guy who's working all the time, or you got a guy who's in several different businesses or different ventures, you may have some situation where he may not show up to. That's important. Now, granted, don't know when he got the information. If he could change the schedule around, if he could flip it around so he can be there. I think that's a big, that is also huge, because when did he get the information? When did he know that it was going to be a party for Zadia? Is he trying to make his way there, right? He just hasn't got there yet. Has he communicated with her, like, I'm on my way, but I'm going to be late, but yet she's still feeling some type of way because she's seen everybody else booed up, right? Because it could be a lot of different dynamics or a lot of parts of the story we don't get, and we don't even go off what we see. Because he could have said, you know what, I'm in traffic, or I'm working late right now, or the pharmacy's about to close, or today's my night that I have to close up. I'll be there when I get there. Now, if he's out there doing one of his, I ain't say hobbies or one of his photography gigs or something like that, where he could cut off and come back to her, I think that is the case there. But Zadia she's really in tune to this guy. I don't know if it's going to work out or not. But again, I understand what she's feeling. I'm like, coach, I feel like you. I felt kind of bad for her. You know, she all dressed up. It's your birthday, and you want to spend it with somebody that you care for, and you look around and he ain't there. It's like when you invite somebody to church, and every time the door opens, you think they're coming, right? And I think that's what Zadia is at right now. Every time that door opens, she thinks Cameron's going to be the person that walked through the door, and when they don't walk through the door, she's disappointed. Hopefully he does come through the door, because if he doesn't come to the door for her, boy, we're gonna see fireworks. It's gonna be blazing. She's gonna rip him a new one if he doesn't come through for her at the party. So.
Over Deacon.
Unless Jay went already, right? Okay. Yeah, no, I think, listen, this is putting all her eggs in one basket goes wrong, you know, and Cameron definitely did let her know that he had something to do. He had to work. So he did give her the disclosure that he might not be here. I hope, like folks have said, you know, they're playing a little game with us, and that he's going to show up and surprise her. But even so, the way she's sliding down the wall, looking lonely, looking at everybody else having a good time, and it's her birthday party, and she gonna cry if she want to, because this isn't good, you know. So I think somebody said this in the chat. I think that would have been a nice gesture, right? I can't make it, but I'm gonna send you some flowers. I'm gonna send something to show you that I'm thinking about you, or you know, or some type of gesture to say, hey, listen, I miss it because I gotta work, but you know, I'm here in spirit, baby. Have this bottle on me. Send this Ace, you know, this bottle of Ace. You know, do something. You know, and Zadia likes those gestures. So I think he could have done something if he's not going to show up. If he's going to show up, perfect. But I think in this type of process, it goes just back to, you got to be careful. You can't get so overly invested in what you think you want, while she's been not so nice to some of the other guys. I think she's been not so nice to some of the other guys, because she feels like she got it in the bag with Cameron. So she's been a little mean to some of the other dudes. And I think she got to think about that, because this is something I learned when I was dating. Your energy, and I'm not talking about no karma, shmarma, and all that other stuff. Yes, maybe some people believe it exists, but that's not what we're talking about. I'm just saying energy attracts energy. So you put out enough stuff in this world. I don't care how much of a player a guy is. I don't care how much of a girl tells you that she's got everything in the bag. She done slid down that wall. So that your energy is going to come. It's whatever you're putting out is going to come back to you. So whilst you're in your dating process, you need to just be careful about how you manage other people's feelings. And this is not even in dating. This is just in real life. You know, I can still be very flippant. And I've had to try to learn to just not be that way. And if somebody calls me out and says, hey, listen, I don't like how you said that, I have to come down and be apologetic. Because when you mismanage people's feelings, it hurts them. And at a certain extent, it's more about you too, because you're doing it first. I'm going to reject you before you can reject me. You know, I think I got this, so I feel like I can just kind of poo-poo on you. That energy you have to be careful about. There was one of her dates where the guy was talking about how she treats a server, how she treats, you know, like that's the kind of woman that he's interested in. I don't remember the guy's name. I'm never going to know these guys' names, so I'm sorry, y'all. But when that interaction happened, that's so important, because that's something I look at too. When I walk in my building, I talk to everybody, and I'm not saying I'm the best person in the world, but I think that's so important. And if you walk past people who are less than you and you treat them like they're less than you, that speaks about you. And I don't necessarily like that. And I think she needs to be conscious about that. I don't know that she necessarily goes out intentionally to hurt people, but sometimes it comes off very mean. And if everybody looks at you and they see mean, you can't say it's production, you can't say it's editing. That's people's perception of you. And that's something you need to kind of look at and reassess. And that's where I'm going to land.
Appreciate it. Glenn?
Did Glenn go? I think he went.
Oh, did you go already?
Yeah, I already went.
Yeah, it's just
Okay.
me.
How about go for it, CA?
Yeah, I mean, she had a right to feel a little bad. I think this is definitely production playing with us. He's gonna show up. He's probably gonna show up with something in his hand, right? I think he's gonna try to make up for the fact that he wasn't there. And I believe that Zadia knows that he was going to be late, but that doesn't stop her from feeling away about him being late. But what I can really say is, I mean, Sean is right here. I got to agree with Sean. Zadia's attitude on her other dates with the other men almost really makes you not even be able to feel bad for her, because that type of really mean demeanor that she put out towards that one guy that she was dating was just very unpleasant. And when you put that type of bad juju into the atmosphere, you don't get good energy back. So, I mean, I want the best for her because I'm a girl's girl. Like, I wanted to work out with Cam, right? Like, I wanted to work out for her because I think he's a good guy and a good catch. But the way she's treating others is not a good sign for just like positivity in the future, because how you treat people who you don't need, who you don't want, says everything about your character. It's not about how she treats Cam, who she wants and needs and likes. So I thought her demeanor with that one guy, this last guy that she just went out on the date with, was kind of just awful to see. I thought it was pretty bad. So yeah, that's all I really have on that. But I'm sure Cameron's gonna show up. He's gonna apologize for being late, and it is what it is.
Just to add to that real quick, it was bad. You know, when you think about it, she didn't even invite the dude to the party, right? Like, didn't even invite him to the party. Like, at least he could have came and maybe meet somebody else and interact with somebody else. I think she does come off of that, and she's gonna fall into the trap where you put all your eggs, as Sean said, when you put all your eggs in one basket, you may end up with nothing, and she may end up with nothing on this show because, again, he ain't moving, she ain't moving. So what we doing here? Like, dude already telling you, like, yeah, he can't come to a party. You definitely know he ain't moving to DC, right? And you ain't moving to New Orleans. So what we doing while you playing games? She might want to find somebody else who's willing to meet her needs again, and not settle for somebody who's not just because you're on the show.
Right. I mean, it's just, and I think I was kind of disappointed in this last episode because I really thought Zadia had grown as a person. And I was like, maybe she got a bad edit or bad rap when it came to Dante, because we all know Dante was a bit of a fool himself, right? So I was like, maybe she got a bad edit with the whole Brown Girl Squad. And, you know, maybe she's grown as a person. She actually looked at the way she appeared on TV and tried to grow. Like, I really believe that. And then the way I saw her behaving with that man, I'm just like, this is not going to work, because as soon as you have an issue with Cameron, is this the real you? I mean, I don't know. You can't be that unpleasant and then turn around and be the most pleasant to Cam. Like, it's going to come out at some point. So I thought that was just, I don't know. It was a red flag. But if Cam is this busy, and like y'all said before, we don't know how, much time he had or whatever. I mean, that's really going to be something they're going to have to work through. But I'm sure the man is going to show up and it'll be fine. So we'll just go from there.
Oh, someone in the chat, Lovely S, said she did invite him to the party. She put it in a post. Production to
thanks for
set
clearing
her
that
up. Then
Appreciate it. Yeah, thanks.
they set her up to be lonely at her own birthday party. That says that they don't like her either. She ain't nice to the help. They set her up at the door. They set her up to be locked out of that gate so she could call Sharice of all people to get to answer it. And now they set her up to be the butt of the jokes at her own birthday party. Who is she pissing off and rubbing the wrong way up in production?
She should leave Ready to Love alone. This should be the last one. Don't do any reunion shows. Don't do any other Ready to Love anything. Just call it done. Right? You got burned once. How many times you gotta get burned by Ready to Love? I'm just saying.
Hey, you already know how I feel about the situation, Zadia. So, I think she's got some work to do. I think she'll be able to. Listen, and I'm not gonna lie to you. I think she looks even finer than she did the last show. Can't even lie. I'm looking at her like she looked even better than before. I don't know what she was doing in the off season, but she was putting work in. Okay, she came on during the season, just looking just ready. Yeah, but the attitude is still the same. It's like having a really good player who doesn't want to train very well and doesn't know how to gel well with the teammates. But when they get on the field, they're amazing. But it's annoying because they affect the whole team. I just feel like with Zadia, her attitude is what's going to keep her single. She's always going to find a man because she looked good. You know what I'm saying to you, right? She always going to find a man. But that attitude is very hard pressed to find a man who's going to want to stay in that long term. And it's not just like I can be a bit of a bee. It's like it feels like it's a slow poison. So it's slightly different. Some men can deal with the bitchiness, and they don't mind going with a woman that's a bit of a bitch. But, and I excuse my word when I say that, but the poison is poisonous, her energy. It's like it will slowly kill you. You know what I mean? Because she's gonna nitpick, she's gonna criticize, she's gonna say some stuff. She gonna tear you down, but she's gonna do it in a particular way. And it's like you can see it there. And it's like, I'm like, babe, come on, please. Just come on, get it. Just that little tidbit. If you can get that, baby, you're gonna be okay. You know what I mean? Like, I just think like I just feel like that's gonna be a poison that will kill someone eventually over time. So I feel like it's harder to want to be around that. Do you get what I'm saying to you? So I just needed to work on that, man. I've been saying that for her for a long time. It's just that part. I think she's getting better. Because I mean, like I've seen the way I've seen her through the course of the season. It seems to be getting slightly better. You know what I mean? But yeah, it's just that attitude, man. But she still look good. I can't lie to you. She looked good. Damn, she looked good. I saw her. I was like, even though you blocked me, because I told you the truth.
She blocked you?
I'm fully blocked.
Wait,
I think that's the only RTL person.
After your interview, I thought y'all were bonding on the interview. When she blocked you?
I think it's after the interview. I think when I dropped the post interview, that's what sold it. He said, "Oh, you gonna do a post interview breakdown," and I think that's what sent her off the edge, spiraling down the wall. So, yeah, she slid down the wall and slid to that block button, and she put me on block. Been blocked ever since.
Wow.
She's protecting her
the
peace.
reason Cam probably is around because he hasn't seen that side of her yet. If you think about it, Cam, with
That's
what
true.
we've seen, Cam hadn't seen that side of Zadia yet. It's probably why he's still sitting there and he's been around. But when that comes out, he might be gone.
She was a little spicy to him. Don't forget in the beginning. Remember, he touched her arm after their like second, and she was like, "Don't touch me."
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're right about that.
He was a little spicy, and somebody else put it in the comments too that she told him, "Don't get too comfortable." So a lot of times, people like him, he's probably, I know Kojo, all the personalities and the conflict styles, and I'm not even going to pretend to go avoidant, dismissive, or whatever he might be, but he's not like somebody that's in your face. So he might move in the shadows. So he might be like the kind of guy that's like, all right, you breadcrumbing me, you giving me a little nice, but then you give me a little nasty. I'm not going to make your birthday party your priority. And maybe I'll show up and maybe I won't. And maybe I'll be there or maybe I'll be late.
You ain't tell no lies. You ain't tell no lies. Mm-hmm. Okay. No one else got anything else to add? That's that it. We've reached our 2-hour mark anyway. So, all right, cool. Deacon, you know what to do best.
Okay. Kojo, if you don't mind, just a little platitudes. I want to just in 5 seconds, just thank everybody. We had a live about a week ago on Sunday, and you and Jay and Seaway dedicated it to me and encouraged everyone to donate. And I just want to thank everybody from the bottom of my heart. One, for all the lovely messages that many of you sent in the chat and also have reached out to me afterwards. And then for those that donated, oh my God, you guys, that warmed my heart. I really, really do appreciate all of you. For all those, the kind thoughts, the text, and, the tokens and gifts of appreciation. Thank you from the bottom of my heart. I really, really do appreciate that. You all are part of my journey and my story. So I truly appreciate you. So I just wanted to, make sure I take the time to do that. And listen, up until Sunday, there was still people, sending, money to me. So really, really, really appreciate y'all. Love you guys. Katie, I cannot do the clapping sounds. You're going to have to tune into our next live. Seaway is over me right now, so I don't want to push First Lady off the edge. So I'm going to just cease on any more sound effects and just proceed with my benediction. So
some people didn't catch it, so if they want to go back and watch it, it was the panel appreciation live. So go back and catch it. If you guys missed it, that was a really good live. So
Katie said, "There goes my cash."
You better clap, Sean. They want to know. They want to see
clap. You clapping for a little
get that cash grab, Sean.
Listen. I can be convinced.
Go ahead, clap for a little change.
Grace Mercy said, she don't want the clapping too fast. But sometimes you gotta change.
Not Grace and Mercy, not wanting to clap too loud. Grace and Mercy.
You gotta change the flow. You gotta speed
Grace
up
and Mercy.
I'm scrolling back. You lying on her. Let me see where she said that. Hold on.
She did tell me that. But in all seriousness, I love and appreciate you guys. I'm glad we can have a good time and have fun together. This is our community, our family. So, but on to these folks that just need our help. Clearly, they need us. So please, if y'all are not watching, please watch. Send this to a friend. Tell your mama, your cousin, your uncle, your cousin, everybody, because we really do together collectively as a family give some great advice, give some great insight on these couples. And I think the first one that we talked about, Vern, we love her attitude and her spirit, but we need Vern to love her, right? We need to know what is it that makes us want to have you, Vern, right? And I think for all of us, whether it's a man or a woman, when you're making your list, you need to make 2 lists. Right? Christmas is coming up. Check your list twice. Your first list is obviously what you want. What do you want out of a person? And the second list should be who you are and why you would be great to be in a relationship with, right? Forget about the table, right? We don't need the table, but who are you, right? Who are you and why would you be great to be in a relationship with, right? We don't need you to sell yourself, but you need to know for yourself. So I think those things are very important, right? And you got to kind of self-assess. We don't want to be mean. We don't want people to not have dreams, but we also need to have dreams that are, realistic. We need to assess ourselves. Are the rivers and the lakes that we're seeking out the ones that want us back, or are they the ones that we're going to wind up drowning and sliding down the wall, right? We don't want y'all sliding down the wall and dating. Next, Sharice, baby girl, be careful what you pass up, right? Because sometimes we keep looking for the next and we're ready to cast away, but sometimes what you got is right in front of you. And that happens to all of us. Sometimes we have quality right in front of us, but we're busy chasing the next, thinking that next person is going to be even better when you're passing by the one that's really meant to be with you. And Sharice, I'm sorry, some folks may, I could be wrong, but some people say Sharice and Maurice ain't it, but the names even go together. I think Maurice and Sharice go together real bad. And I think she's missing her blessing. So Sharice, get back to Maurice. Next, we got Ashley, baby girl Ashley. We do love you. Please don't take our criticism so harshly. You know, at the end of the day, we love you. We want to wrap our arms around you. We love the energy, but who one are you doing it for? Whenever you're doing something for somebody, and you really got to self-assess this for all of us. Are you doing it for you or are you doing it for them? Because don't do something for somebody else in the name of yourself, because that's when you're going to slide down that wall. 2023 and 2024, we are not sliding down walls. 2022 and 2023, we weren't climbing them. 2023 and 2024, we ain't sliding down them, okay? We don't want you sliding down the wall. So make sure when you do something, it is for the person, not for you, not because that's what you want them to do to you or because that brings you joy. It should bring them joy. So just be careful about that and go where you appreciate it. Please, if you got the struggle, you're sliding down the wall. Next, we got, last but definitely not least, we got our good girl, Zadia. Zadia, we love you. We love you. We love you. Beautiful, beautiful woman. But we just want you to be concerned of your perception. Please, 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 please hold yourself accountable to your perception. Self-assess. Can I be nicer? Can I be gentler? What do I do with the people that really I can benefit nothing from? How do I treat them? How do people look at the way that I treat them? Is there room for me to be more apologetic? Is there room for me to be nicer? It's actually easier to be nicer, and it just draws people in. Nice people draw people in, right? And we want the right people, Zadia. We don't want you sliding down the walls, chasing nobody either, because you got to be careful. Sometimes that energy you put out comes swinging right back at you, and then you get your feelings hurt. So just be conscious, be careful, and back to you, Coach.
Always a pleasure, Deacon. Thank you very much for the finishing word there as well. Just want to say to the congregational members before we leave, listen, it's been a great time and appreciate y'all for coming through again. We had I think 450 strong today as well. So y'all, we appreciate you guys always coming through and sharing the love. But I love the fact that, the last few lives have been quite funny as well. The audience have been involved as well. And we just appreciate you guys, being involved and sharing your points of view as well. We'll be back. I don't know if I'm out tomorrow. I think I might be doing live. Yes, I'm going to try to do live tomorrow, but we'll see because I'm off. I'm in London on a Wednesday, so I might want to go to bed early just because, I got to get myself ready to go to Ghana. So, but I definitely I'm going to do a live tomorrow.
Talking about tomorrow.
It'll be an open panel tomorrow. It will be open panel because it's just an open topic. Nothing specific. You got something in mind, Siwe?
No, I feel like
on your heart?
I feel like you done talked about everything that I could think of thus far. So
don't worry, tomorrow's tomorrow, man. If something comes to your mind, you let me know, innit? We can add it onto the agenda. But yeah, no, listen, honest, I'm going to do it live tomorrow for the B Simone. You guys are loving the little series, so I thought I'd start doing some avoidant and anxious topics because I think you guys, there's a lot of people who are saying they're really enjoying it, but not just enjoying it, they're actually learning. And so clearly there's a lot of us who are avoidant and a lot of us who are anxious. Too many, it looks like, because there's so many of you guys in the comments who are saying you are like this. So clearly we need to have a discussion about it and break it all the way down as well. So Felicia says she wants to talk about taking away a good woman's childbearing years. You don't want that conversation because you know who we're going to hold accountable? Not me. We're gonna hold you accountable. So, are you sure you want to go there? They're gonna be telling about the man, and they're gonna say we ain't gonna be accountable. But we can talk about it though, because
we don't want to talk about that. We don't want to talk about that.
Jadina came up and said something, so potentially we could.
We do gotta stop wasting our own time. we gotta stop. We gotta stop wasting our own time.
Dating soft skills for men and women. That's a good point. Those who are married should talk on this because apparently single people can't talk about this. So only married folks can talk about this, and those who have been married can talk about this. Those of us who are single, we're still living that life apparently, and we don't know nothing about dating. So
who told you that? Who told you that?
Tony Gaskins.
Oh, I'm so late because I don't even know who that is.
Don't worry about it.
So I still don't even know who this person is.
You're gonna find out.
Sorry to that man. I have no idea who it is.
He has amazing eyes, though. I can't lie to you. He's got amazing eyes. No homo, pause. But he's got really lovely eyes. Just saying.
Oh no, we can talk about these men that are being chatty patties popping up worried about Cassie money.
You know what? We can
There's
do
a
that.
lot of chatty patty men that are out here running
There
their
is a lot
mouths
of chatty
for no
patty
reason.
men. There is. And there's a lot of women who are wasting their time in childbearing. So it looks like both parties can be spoken about tomorrow. We had an amazing conversation. Because what we're not going to do.
Love the redirect. He hits me with the redirect.
Oh, and there was another one. Sorry, one more to put in your brain.
Yeah, Dave.
I saw another post about how men can't, zesty and sassy. So men can't respond to women without being called sassy for arguing with women. That was also another
Very
interesting post about the sassy men.
Sassy apocalypse, they called it.
It is a sassy apocalypse for
Apparently.
sure.
Hey, I'm not even mad at it anymore. I used to be mad at it, but now I'm not mad at it. We call women masculine. I understand they're going to call us sassy. So there's problems on both sides. I'm learning to see that they're both on both sides. So, you know, we can talk about that as well on Tuesday night. So sassy apocalypse, here we go. You know what I mean?
That's what gets the people going.
Oh, we just want them to get into the door and then we'll fire them up. Both sides.
It is an epidemic. These sassy men.
We're gonna roast you both. Don't worry about that. The sassy men, we're gonna get you back too, ladies. Don't worry, because we're gonna talk. Because the sassy men are finding women who are also trying to like these sassy men. So it ain't my fault. Okay. But anyway, listen.
I gave you your title right there, the sassy apocalypse, right there.
The sassy apocalypse. That's the title of the video. We're gonna call it Sassy Apocalypse as a full-on heading. But we're going to talk about everything that's happening, you know, because childbearing years and all that stuff is all underneath the sassy apocalypse. We're going to talk. But listen, audience, we appreciate you. I'll be back tomorrow. I think I'm going to do it like probably going to be early in the morning for you guys. I will do the part 3 for the B Simone thing because I actually had my notes and I couldn't do it today because I didn't want to go over half an hour, which I did. I went over 10 minutes or so. I'm trying to keep it to half an hour to make it a good time for you guys. So make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, click on that bell button. I think Sean said a great word. 2022, we weren't climbing walls. 2023, we're not sliding down them. But 2024, we ain't building them either. Okay, we're going to come vulnerable, open, and ready to be in a great space to date or to marry or to whatever you want to call it as well. So make sure you hold on to that word. Okay, 2022, we ain't climbing them. 2023, we ain't sliding down them. But 2024, we ain't building them either as well. But let me just leave this with you as well. You know, my favorite clip. This is what happens when you slide on a wall. This is what happens. You see, you know, when you're here, you know what I mean? One more time, we can have to play for those, you know. This is what Zadia, he gonna turn up. Cameron gonna turn up. Cameron gonna turn up. Don't worry, you know. So it happens to all of us. But I appreciate you guys. Stay locked, stay loaded. We'll see you again very, very soon. Someone said what we're doing in 2025. We'll figure out something to do with walls. But much love.